time.
Welcome back to One Leg at a Time, the podcast about health, wellness, fun, recovery, and music. I'm Dr. Deen Anbar, and I'm interviewing other musicians and creatives about their process, their priorities, and the things that they do to achieve their goals. Aleksi Glick, all the way from New York City.
Wait, so this is about health and wellness? Why would you have me on? I'm so confused right now. It's just like the least fucking like healthy person you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I know.
Okay. I did have a salad last night, but I also had like a bunch of beer and cake.
Okay, look. I'll tell you what this is not. It's not an intervention. I will be okay. Obviously, we used to rage together.
Yeah.
You know. So it's the point is this. We're musicians. You're a guitar player. You're a great guitar player.
Thank you. You're a great guitar player too.
Thanks. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
We've known. How long have we known each other now? I mean, I met you pretty early on in New York.
14, 15 years. Like
probably even a little bit more. And we definitely raged out, and it was super fun. Living in New York City is a different lifestyle than out here. Not to say that you can't be healthy or unhealthy. I'm trying to think of, because I know why I want to have you on. It's not like, I'm not trying to sort of present you as anything that you're not. I want to sort of talk about it because, you know, and I think we've caught up enough that, like, you know, I kind of had my struggles and found myself on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Which, like, a big part of it for me was sort of like finding my foundation through routine, you know, and it was just like, and it still is like super important to me to like do those things just for my own sense of self, you know. It's like, it's not really about like, and I just found myself like, the more I would sort of choose these things. Yeah, because you kind of looked like a dick.
No, I look so friendly with my natural.
Now I feel like I can talk
youthful
to you.
face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not like you're going to ask me to like email your agent for a list of questions that are going to be appropriate to talk about on the show. But here's the thing. I take those things seriously, but I take them seriously because of a few things, right? I had some crises that kind of brought me to this point where I was like, this is what I'm about, you know? And I feel like no matter what happens, as long as I can, you know, take care of these things, that it works for me. And then I kind of like, I know who I am under any circumstances. That's a good thing. But also, like, we do live insane lives by any standard. And I know, like, what you are up to in New York City. I don't think we've really spoken to anybody on the show yet who is living that version of this life, which I've done both. It's way harder out there. You know, it's just like the minutia of your day to day is crazy. So I kind of wanted to just talk to you about it. Like so when you came in, you were like, you're talking about when I run out the door and like we shared a Bear Bells protein bar.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which I love those. Sponsor, right? I mean, come on, Bear Bells, they're great. And you were like, yeah, usually like I just run out the door. So like I'll stop by the deli at the C train and I'll get one of these exact ones. And I'm like, cool. I love that.
New York is all about running out the door.
New York City is all about running. See, people in New York City think that they're healthy.
Yeah.
Usually just because they're like really skinny from doing a lot of cocaine and eating like 3 slices of pizza a week, and then the rest of it's just like vodka and whatever else.
Yeah. Your step count is pretty high in New York.
Step count is high.
You walk everywhere.
Love that.
So
I do.
I
do miss that. Yeah. Did you ever? You're without a car, right?
Yeah. I still don't have a license. I had a learner's permit. But
so this is the antithesis.
Me.
See, V and I talk all the time about how much driving sucks because it can suck. But I'm also, I remember what it's like waiting for an L train for 38 to 45 minutes, like with an amp, you know, like, it's 3 a.m.
Oh, it's the worst. I mean, I will say I do bring a tube amp on the train less than I used to. I also got one of those Tone Masters, you know, like the...
Oh, the Tone Masters rule.
Freaking great.
I guess that is another thing, is like the technology has shifted a lot, or changed, even in the time that I've left New York City, that things like that are probably a lot easier.
But no, I still like throw my back like every like 90 days.
So that's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like just recovering right now. I feel like, you know,
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, you just kind of like, I mean, you basically like you wake up, you know, usually
Talk us through it.
Usually at like, you know, 11 a.m., you know, maybe 10:30, you know, if you want to get a
yeah.
get a, you know, early start.
Yeah.
You know, then you kind of just like send, well, at least for me, I, you know, send a million emails, you know, catching up on stuff I need to, you know, catch up on. You know, I'll usually learn a bunch of music.
Yeah.
I'll try to practice because I'm always trying to get a little better, you know. Try to write some if I have time. But then, I mean, then you basically are just like going from like teaching to sessions, then to playing all on the subway, all from like, you know, like northern Manhattan to Brooklyn and back to Brooklyn, you know, and then, generally I feel like my day finishes at like, you know, midnight or 1 a.m. And then, you know, you need to like, you know, watch YouTube for at least 2 hours.
Yeah. Decompress.
Yeah. So, you know, then I fall asleep at like 3 or 4 in the morning and kind of do it
iPad
all over
on the
again.
stomach. Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I mean, all jokes aside, I probably rage less than I used to, but, you know, I still will rage at least once a week, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, one of my mornings is usually completely shot because of that.
Yeah.
You know,
I can't even imagine. And now, like, I get a hangover from like eating a rotisserie chicken.
yeah.
Like that. I really. It's.
Yeah.
And it hasn't even been that long. Like that I wasn't getting loaded, but like. I think about it now. I'm like, I don't know. I might die.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's nice. I do feel like when I'm out here, I kind of, you know, I've been coming out here for work a lot.
You have been, which is
recently.
really cool.
And I really enjoyed it. And, you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll even like, you know.
Don't even say it. There's no way. There's no way. You're not leaving New York.
I am such a New Yorker. It's true. Yeah.
You really are.
Yeah.
But do you, so when you come out here, though.
I drink less. I wake up earlier.
Something about it, right? You kind of don't want to do those things.
I woke up at 8 a.m. today. I mean, part of it is because I think I woke up at 11 a.m. But
I guess, yeah.
But still, you know, I mean, it was nice to.
No, when the sun is out, and what part of town are you staying in?
Culver City.
What's the address?
Okay.
I feel like every time I'm here, I stay at like a million different places. It's like,
you do. That's
it's like
why
I'll stay
I
at
wasn't
like
sure
a
where you'd
hotel
be.
one night, and then I'll stay with my like friend in like Sierra Madre, and then I'll stay with my friend in Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
And then I'll
So
stay
it's
with
like
my
New
friend in Mar
York.
Vista. Yeah, it's like I just never stay. Yeah, it's like, you know.
Honestly, yeah.
Always on the
Actually,
go.
my friend who I'm staying with this week, his name is Jon Snow.
He's
know.
a Game of Thrones character.
Yeah.
Why? And you're just out here. You're doing more session work, right?
Yeah. This
Yeah.
week, mostly me and Bijan, who's my co-writer out here.
Yeah.
Do a lot of like production music stuff together.
Yeah, that's
We're doing
cool.
this. Just this. We have to finish up this Warner Chappell project, but it's actually the Warner Chappell. It's not the Warner Chappell in LA, although we've worked with them before. But it's the chapter in Hamburg, like in Europe.
Oh, crazy.
And and then just a few other things, you know, while I'm here
Yeah.
in sessions. But
yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, that's kind of the main thing. you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, is there a part of you that sort of like, does it attract you at all? Because even for like after the 7-ish years, I think a little more than 7, that I lived in New York, and I had been coming to LA for work, and I kind of hit a wall where I was like, I don't like doing New York anymore. It's too crazy. It's too hard.
I mean,
you know?
you do have these moments, you know, when you've played like your third wedding in one weekend.
Yeah.
You know, where, I mean, you can get burnt. And, you know, I love playing music. It's my favorite thing to do in the entire world. I feel really comfortable on stage, and I want to do a lot more touring too. And, you know, I love it. But yeah, you do have those moments when you haven't had a night off in like 5 or 6 nights where you're like, I can't even listen to music right now.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
that's also an interesting
and-
thing too, because like it becomes like work brain, where you're like, if I have to, just hearing notes feels like work.
Exactly. And where I feel like when I'm generally playing more creative music, you know, and composing, you know, or, you know, playing, you know, music, writing music for my own passion projects, you know, even if it's not like a commercial thing. Like I do feel like I can listen to music a lot more, and I kind of retain the passion for it. Where when you play too many of those kind of like New York, like club date money gigs, it can wear on you. I mean, even physically.
Well, they have that, the equivalent here is like doing a wedding that's like 3 to 4 to 5 hours away, or like a fly day. There's a lot of like one-off fly dates.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's essentially the same face under like a different mask, if that's an analogy, to make. Like there are those kind of similarities. But I mean, avoiding the burnout, like how do you do it?
I feel like in early January, I had some serious burnout, which usually I feel like I'm pretty good about that, where, usually I'll just have like a burnout for like a day, and then I'll just like, take a day off.
No, a day is not,
and
that's
like,
not
it's fine, but this was like about a couple weeks where I really just kind of wasn't as motivated as I usually am to create. And,
you're a motivated guy.
Thanks. I mean, I love writing and creating and practicing, so
we'll have to plug some of your projects. Snack Cat, you're still doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, and
and your trio.
Yeah, have another solo album that's going to be coming
record,
out. But no, thanks so much. And
it's not what this is about.
For me, this past time I did something kind of crazy. I literally just took a trip around the world.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, so I went to Helsinki to play. Like I just played some jazz gigs in Helsinki, which, maybe I barely broke even from. And then I was like, I'm just going to continue going around the world.
These were just like your own gigs that you booked?
Yeah, I mean, it was like jazz trio stuff, but with musicians over there.
That's cool.
That brought me over, and then I also just set up a few other things, and so that was really fun. But
that's
then
like the dream. That's what people talk about.
I had never been to like Southeast Asia before. I had been to Japan, but so then I just like went from Helsinki to Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City, to Indonesia, then to Japan, and then back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. And I had, the good thing about it's funny, like, us musicians, like we have like, horrible health insurance, all these like things stacked against us. But, we do have good travel benefits. So I had tons of like, miles saved up. So I didn't
keep track of that stuff,
I didn't pay for any of my flights,
Oh, that's
so that
amazing.
was amazing. It was great. And
which is definitely going to be the most expensive thing about a trip like that.
Once you're there, it's like super cheap,
So what did you do? How did you plan this trip? Like, did you wing it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I booked some stuff in advance, but then I just I knew where I was
going.
going.
Who do you know in Vietnam?
No one. Actually, I hung out with like a bunch of like Russians, all who like really loved Putin, and it was super weird. And I one day I like felt really sick, and I was worried they had poisoned me. I was like, I was like, oh fuck, they got me, but they turned out to be like okay, I think.
I mean, I'm sure they were. If they poisoned you, then you have to make sure. Ask them if they know where the venom is. Or the
anti-venom.
The anti-venom. Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe they were thinking about it, but they were like, oh, he's all right,
You
he
seem
lets us
cool.
talk about Putin.
Yeah.
With a name like Aleksi Glick, they probably thought you were.
Yeah. I mean, they asked me if I was Russian, and I guess I have like Russian heritage, but my parents are named Mike and Emily, and my brother's a Japanese name. They're just hippies, that.
Yeah. I remember this, but like your dad was like, wasn't he like a Pete Seeger style, like New York City communist, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like, super like progressive politics. My grandfather on his side was like, like basically blacklisted or had to go, underground. And then my dad was an editor for like the communist newspaper, and,
amazing.
And he played anti-Franco rallies in like Spain, got chased out by the fascist police, like did a lot of like lefty stuff. Helped take over the colleges when they were protesting the Vietnam War. Got thrown in jail for a couple weeks for that, but he did some cool stuff. He's
what a life. What a time. What a time to like be. Just, I don't know. I still romanticize that so much.
I know. I wish I could. I mean, it really felt like, I don't know, music really meant something during that time. I mean, it still, of course, does, but I feel like I'm always just searching for that. It's like,
the thing that I think about a lot is like what music really was. Like music as a technology was so much more engaging before screen time.
Yeah.
You know, like when you look at old pictures of like people sitting around a radio, like as though it's a TV.
Yeah.
Just like waiting for it to be a TV.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just, they're just like watching the speaker.
Yeah.
I just like, we don't do that anymore. I don't even really do that anymore. I
People
pretty much
listen to
like
podcasts.
I listen to podcasts, but like I mostly listen to music that I have to learn.
Yeah.
You know? So I know like doing a lot of gigs where like I'm kind of learning between like 10 and 20 new songs a week.
Yeah, no, of
just
course.
for,
and I do
work.
feel like when you're exposed to that much music,
It kind of deadens you
you have less
bit.
of those aha moments. Like we've all had, any of us who are professional musicians have had those aha moments where we're like, this is amazing. We're exposed to something new and we get completely obsessed.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't have that, then, you know, you're probably never going to be a professional musician.
It does still happen. And I want to keep going on that thought in a second, but it does still happen, but usually it's less about like an understanding of a chord texture or something. It'll be more about like a texture or a tone. Like, you know, the other day, or I guess this is a few months ago, but I kind of was just like blown away by just like acoustic guitar, like steel string acoustic guitar, which I kind of had been ignoring for a long time. And I was listening and I was like, this is like, I need this right now, you know? And I started writing a bunch of music like specifically for acoustic, and like, you know, it'll be like sort of broader swaths of color, or like, you know, an arranging thing than like, whoa, like that chord and then that chord, like that's crazy. Like it's sometimes, but like not as much.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I had a bit of that when I finally got a Telecaster after all these years. You know, I'd always been a Strat guy, and I kind of like started to just write a bunch of
even
stuff.
you as a Strat guy was kind of new, because by the time I left New York, you were still pretty much on those semi-hollows. Yeah.
Which is funny because now I'm like thinking about like almost like going like way back and getting an SG to play like on like some of my more.
Good luck keeping it in tune, but have fun.
I know, that's the issue.
I got rid of my SG. I had one that I really did like, and I did a lot of cool mods on it, but I just couldn't deal with it. I mean, it was like, it was impossible, dude. What you could get, which not that this is Deen and Aleksi's guitar show, but a Les Paul Special that has the double cutaways. Yeah. I have one, and I like that a lot, you know.
Those are great. They're just so heavy.
No, not the Special. The double cutaway one, yeah.
It's much lighter?
It's the one that kind of looks like an SG almost. It's like a primitive version of an SG.
Oh, interesting. Maybe I'm actually not exactly sure of the one you're talking about.
You would know it if you saw it.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool.
I mean, Les Pauls are amazing.
And they're light. The one I have is like, I don't know, it's no more than 7.5 pounds.
And actually the, you know, it's funny, Les Paul Special was like the first, like just a regular like old cherry wood one was like the first good guitar I ever had.
I mean, I have one in the closet that I just can't bring to get. It's too heavy.
I remember like, I like fell on it when I was like a couple years after getting it. So then like the neck snapped. You know,
the neck cracked. I mean, that's so devastating. I remember the first time I was playing a gig and my Les Paul fell off the stand because I still had the cable plugged into it, and I kind of like tugged on the cable and it snapped. And I was doing, this is back when I was probably like 19, and I was playing in this band with like a bunch of 40-year-olds. And this guy was such a dick about it. He's like, oh man, he's like, they're never the same after that. They just, you know, and I was like, this was like my prized possession.
Yeah, I know, man.
You know,
Yeah,
I know, it was,
yeah.
And it was fine. I brought it in to get repaired, and the guy's like, oh yeah, no, this happens all the time. Like, it's usually better after the repair.
Yeah.
And but I don't know, Les Pauls. But you were talking about, okay, the thing of sort of having an aha moment, something kind of clicks musically that you're probably already somebody who's gravitating towards music. You have a love of it, you're studying it, and then these things happen that have like this strong, monumental, huge sort of, you know, life-changing gravitational
where
moments
you become
in your
obsessed.
life. What was that for you? Like, what's your history with
I mean,
because I've only ever known you as a guy who, like, I don't think I've ever seen you without a guitar. Like, you know, so
I mean, it's interesting. I remember like the first time I got like really obsessed with guitar was like when I heard like AC/DC for the first time of like
that's right, you're the AC/DC guy.
Yeah, which you would not expect.
Well,
it's like,
I don't know.
You know
That's
maybe,
why wouldn't I though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember like I just like for some reason like just like Angus's like blues language and the way he would like duck walk across the stage, and it just was so cool. And then I started to dress like Angus Young going to school.
What, with the little shorts?
Yeah, exactly. I like had a pair of pants like cut them.
You mooning people?
Yeah. Oh, I
was he mooning people?
Angus Young to this day moons the crowd, audiences of like 15 to 20,000 people on a night by night basis.
Yeah,
I saw
the
him
guy's
at
what,
Coachella
80 years
and
old?
he didn't do that.
Maybe they told him not to.
Yeah, they probably for like the live stream
I feel
or
like I missed
something.
out on something.
Yeah. Or maybe he did and you just missed his tiny little white Australian butt.
Yeah. But so, and then I remember after getting like really into like AC/DC and some classic rock bands like Led Zeppelin and The Who, then I heard John McLaughlin for the first time, and I was like, what is this?
Like Mojave McLaughlin?
Exactly. Visions of the Emerald Beyond was the first album I heard. The
Oh yeah, okay. The one that I got was Intermounting Flame.
Yeah, I mean that one too. I got that in Birds of Fire as well, and like I became obsessed. I'm like, this is like insane. How's he playing this stuff? You know, it's like he's shredding, but he's also playing these weird notes.
So how old were you at that point?
Maybe like 14, 15.
Oh, that's pretty young for that. Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, wait, they're like all these jazz guitar players that have all this crazy harmonic language and are doing all these interesting things. And then I became obsessed with Pat Martino.
Okay.
And then, I went to see Pat Martino at the Iridium, I think when I was about, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Talked to him. He was so nice and like just invited me back to Philly to take a lesson at his place. And then...
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then he contacted Vic Juris and he's like, you got to teach this kid,
That's
and
sick.
Then like, that was kind of like what put me on my way. But I also do remember, I also had this, it's funny because he's not even a guy that I really listened to much after this, but the first time I ever went to Jazz in Lincoln Center at the Allen Room, I was like about 14 years old, and this was like right after I had just gotten into Pat Martino, but I hadn't yet gone to see him at the Iridium. I heard Sonny Fortune.
Okay.
And he was just like
deep cut.
He was just like playing all this just like insane, just like, I mean, it's weird because it was like so virtuosic at the time for my young ears that it just sounded like these sheets of sound. Like I didn't even know, like couldn't even like make out what notes he was playing. It just sounded, but I was just like, my jaw, I remember just was dropped.
Yeah, right.
I just was like obsessed. And then I just, I became completely obsessed with, listening and learning jazz. Yeah. And then obviously went to school for jazz, and then maybe towards the end of my time at the Peabody Conservatory, I was like, wait a second, I used to like other kinds of music too.
Yeah.
And then I started to like kind of get back into like listening to like a lot of blues, soul, funk, R&B, and I don't know, and kind of all the kinds of music that I really like kind of come out of the blues. That's the one thing that's sort of like is constant for me.
That's definitely a common thread. Are you still living in that same place was it Upper West?
Yeah, I mean, it's rent stabilized. I'm just never going to leave.
Yeah, why would you?
Crazy.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, it's, as a result, it's like sort of an agreement with my landlords where they just will never fix anything, but they let me live there and don't complain about it. And I'm not like one of the completely insane people.
Yeah. No, New York City is good for that. I mean, just like that condensed living. It's
my dad actually lives 5 blocks away from me. He's been banned from 3 places in the neighborhood.
Communist.
Yeah, it's like, it's like,
really, why?
Well, Tom's, Banco Popular, and Sprint. Well, now T-Mobile, I guess, but yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are you saying? What?
I mean, I can go through the different things,
What are those things have to do with your dad being banned from apartments?
Well, you just said my dad lives in my neighborhood, and and he's banned from 3 places in the neighborhood because he lives on 107.
Okay. I thought you said he was banned from the apartment.
Me too.
No. Sorry, I went through too fast. But I'm just, it's basically just like playing to the story of like, people on the Upper West Side being, a little different.
Like screws are loose.
It's like, he got really angry at Tom's when, it's a Seinfeld diner.
Yeah, Tom's
terrible food. He used to be friends with the owner. He they did away with their breakfast special. He was
because of your dad.
No, he was really angry, and then he was like, and then they like, and he was like, he used to be a $5 breakfast special, and then
when in the 70s. I mean,
he still likes 1970s prices. I feel like he's still living it.
Yeah.
And then like a couple other things happen, and him and and then the last straw was there was a table that was reserved, but there were a bunch of seats, and him and the owner Pete used to like bet on sports games together, and then he left this like angry review that was like, this place, like
your
Yelp
dad
review.
left.
Yeah,
like
it was
Yelp
like
review?
yeah, and it was like this place, started to go downhill ever since they got rid of their breakfast special. And he was like, and the owner Pete has become a mean son of a bitch.
Wow, scathing.
Yeah.
And so he can't go back.
Yeah,
in.
Banco Popular. He like got in a huge fight with the guy. He's like, and they were just going after, and I don't know, and they were kind of like screaming at each other and looking at me for affirmation of who,
You were there?
Yeah. There was, yeah. Sprint was actually, these are the only places I know of. There could be others.
Yeah.
Sprint and T-Mobile.
I love it. It's like two cell phone companies.
Yeah. Well, that was just, he just called, he told them they were crooks. So that was just pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a great word. Crook.
Crook is such a great word. It's such a great boomer finger pointing word.
Actually, wait.
Crooks,
this reminds me. I actually have another really good story recently. Another thing. So Thanksgiving, I got my mom and dad together. They've been divorced so long that it's like okay, I guess, for them to hang out, kind of.
I have had that same kind of thing happening actually with my parents who have been divorced for fucking 20 years.
And the older they get, it's like it's fine, sort of.
Yeah, it is fine.
Yeah,
so
it's like
fucking get it together.
But so we go to so my mom, she likes to go to like nice places. So we go to like a bistro that like entrees are like $40-$50 at, and my dad's already complaining because like it's like he like duct tapes his jackets and shit. You know? And like so we get there and there's like a giant tray of like rare white truffles, and he just proceeds to like lift up the lid and take one, and the guy's like, "Sir, that's a $400 white truffle." And he just proceeds to put it in his mouth. and the guy's like, "Sir, you have to pay for that." And I'm like, "Dad, you got to," so he make him spit it out,
Wait, and what are they going to do with it after he spits it out?
Well, so we had to.
They can't charge him.
Well, so yeah, I mean, they had to charge us. They did, but basically what we did, it was for Thanksgiving. And my mom's waiting at the table. She hadn't seen us yet, and so we basically just had like got a pasta dish instead of like turkey, and like grated the slightly digested truffle because it's like $400 truffle and pasta, and like but it was great. It was actually pretty tasty.
I bet. Yeah. Jesus, that's amazing.
Good.
I don't know if I should. I want to bring it back a little bit to this thing about like playing gigs. And how many nights a week are you actually out there gigging? 2-3 gigs a night, like pretty often, right?
Yeah, a fair amount. I mean, not, in general, I would say I generally play about 4 or 5 nights a week. And sometimes they're double headers,
Yeah.
3, but, also sometimes, for these like out of town gigs or like wedding gigs, like, you're also just, it takes the entire day too,
Well,
and
right.
Overnight, but do you want me to go back to Storyland for a second?
Yeah.
Because then,
it's kind of the best show we've ever done.
Okay. So the good thing is now, you do some stuff with the Dart Collective.
Yeah.
Too, I mean, they're great, and they, it's kind of,
that's
they're
great.
Just like higher end, like corporate wedding stuff. So, you get your own hotel room. They, don't, fly you like in the back of Spirit Airlines when you have to, have a gig. So it's just things like that. Or, when we're touring with an artist, we'll make sure that we have our own hotel room or whatever, just like basic things. So these old, I played this wedding in like Vermont, where there was like no thought of like providing like transportation like to and from the venue. Just they had put us up in this like tiny motel that like was 3 miles away from the venue. Me and Hervé, my buddy, were sharing a room, and he was like, hey, do you want to ride to the venue? And I was like, no, I'm just going to call a cab. It's in like rural Vermont, know.
Yeah, but those are the ones where it's like, good luck getting
Yeah, exactly. So then I go down like 2 hours before the gig, and I'm like, to the one guy, I'm like, hey, can you call me a cab? And he was like, there are no cabs around here. There's this one guy that drives a cab. It's like,
one guy.
Like.
We've done that. We've been on tour in small towns where like, because we're on a tour bus, so we can't really like the bus, once it's parked, it's just parked.
Yeah.
We'll be calling for Ubers. There's nothing. There'll be one guy. There's no Uber. There's one guy. Like, and he'll shuttle like 3 or 4 people and then come back for the rest of us. Like,
so it's like that kind of thing. And like, I call this one guy and he kept like hanging up on me because my, reception was bad and his reception was bad.
Yeah.
So then the guy at the motel, the one guy who worked there, I'm like, hey, can you drive me? I'll give you $50 to drive me 3 miles.
Yeah.
He's like, no, against the rules, very like, dogmatic about it. I was like,
so would you walk?
So so I walked just with my guitar on my back in a suit. Like, I'm following Google Maps, I'm going down this like little country road. Before I know it, it's like a dirt road. And then eventually I'm just fucking hiking in the woods. Like I'm literally just like I'm in the woods hiking. Like with and then like just as it says I'm like 20 minutes away, my phone's almost dead at this point.
Yeah.
And like, the wedding's starting soon. The first dance is like, North Country Girl, so it's like only guitar and vocals. So,
Oh,
there's
God.
like, there's like this like it had been raining, so there's like this swamp that's like blocking the trail.
Yeah.
And so like there are these huge shards of grass on like either side. I'm like, oh, I think I can go around.
Yeah.
But when I try to go around, I fall in because like
oh my God.
And then I'm just stuck up into my waist. Yeah, actually yelling because I can't physically get out, so just yelling for help at the top of my lungs, like blood curdling. Like it's the only time in my life I was like, I might fucking like die here.
Yeah,
like,
you might die.
I was thinking, I was like,
that's
I'm
like
gonna
getting eaten by.
I was
a
like,
bear.
I might throw my guitar so it will sink, but then at least I can like, like tear at some shrubs.
Oh my God.
So finally, like, I basically blacked out. So like, I finally like calmed myself down.
Yeah.
And I'm like still stuck and I'm like, okay. And I luckily didn't throw my guitar and I just like, there's like some bushes and stuff. And I just like really just like, grab at everything with all my strength, finally get myself out. At this point, my phone's dead. So I like just sprint back to like civilization. I'm covered in like mud. And once I get, I'm trying to like hitch a ride again. Of course, nobody is obviously picking me up,
wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like.
Yeah, because you probably look like an escaped mental patient.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. So I like, I go to a couple different motels. They kick me out because, this,
yeah. Yeah.
muddy maniac, has come here to like terrorize.
Like, good try, Jason.
Yeah. But finally, I found one that would let me charge my phone, and they were like, so I call Hervé. He tells it pretty well, but like, and it's like hypervent. I'm like, dude, it's an emergency. And luckily the wedding was running late. He had just finished the ceremony, and came and like picked me up, and I just went back to the motel, just wore street clothes, doused my shoes in water so they looked black, and like just like then like played the gig.
Okay.
First, it's a funny story. Obviously, it's completely ridiculous, but it is that mentality of like, no matter what, I'm going to somehow make this work. And that is kind of what you need in New York. I feel like if you're going to do
that's a bit of a roundabout way to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you're talking about surviving in the woods, which is right. I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to just sit there and be bear food. Like, you got to get, you got to get to where you're going.
Yeah.
But no, I understand, like, that instinct is the same. It's just like, it's a lot of work,
It's almost like this Pavlovian thing that you're like, it's like the thing you're most scared about is like not making the gig and not learning the music.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's good or bad, but like,
I mean, it's one of those things where like, it's a good thing to have to deal with. It's a good thing to have to learn how to do.
Yeah.
Like to get through, to be able to just like get handed a lot of work and like get used to the thing of like, you make it work, and like getting good at kind of making the right decision in the moment. Do I stay in the mud or do I hoist myself out with my guitar? What do I do? Obviously you do one or the other.
Yeah, you hoist yourself out of the mud.
Do you ever feel, and I'm only asking you this because I'm genuinely curious. I'm not like, there's no judgment.
No, yeah.
But like if there were to be some things to kind of like change in your life to feel a little less crazy or like a little more sort of stable, like what would those be? Like what would you want to see happen in a way that you feel like
I mean, I've actually been thinking about this recently. Like,
I think getting older, those things tend to kind of become,
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of doing a million different things. It would be nice to focus on just a couple things. I mean, I love playing all these different kinds of music. I love, also just playing all these like wedding gigs or theater gigs or whatever it is where you meet, but like there is a point where, I mean, if I was like touring with one band and then just like writing a bunch of music for television and film, or, if
you could do it.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff. Or if I just, my own, solo project, I started to play a lot more with that. And then, I don't know. I mean,
that's such a tricky thing right now, though, because being like a solo musician, it's sort of like, what does that even mean other than to just try to go viral with like TikTok reels?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
like,
kind of tough.
And it's like I'm releasing my stuff on, these like, I mean, unbelievably supportive, great, like indie jazz labels, but it's not like, I'm like, these are things that have like mass market, appeal that I'm like releasing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I write a lot.
I don't know if they'll ever have mass market appeal, but I guess the question and the thing that I keep kind of going back to with my own stuff too is just like, so what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Like, how do you sort of frame this thing in a way that like,
I mean, it's interesting because I do feel like, some of the stuff I'm doing, like, would do pretty well on like, blues and jam band circuits. And, there are, and, I'll definitely, with these projects, like, especially with Snack Cat, we've done a lot of like, those kind of outside, festival type shows. You know? But like
Snack Cat was like in its infancy when I was leaving New York. So I never really got to see the rise of the cat.
Oh yeah, the rise of the cat.
We did do a couple of double bills together.
That's right. I remember that. That was super fun. Oh man, oh god, it's such a long time ago.
I know.
That was great. But yeah, I mean, as far as my own passion, project stuff goes, I'm, a little bit more focused on, the
solo stuff you're doing a lot, right?
Stuff. Yeah. With that being said, Snack Cat plays all the time, and I love it. It's an absolute blast, But
is Bowery Poetry Club still a thing?
No, that hasn't been a thing since 2012.
No, that can't be right.
I swear to God, Barry Electric has been going, but Barry Poetry Club closed in like 2012.
It closed in 2012?
Maybe 2011. I swear to God, yeah. No, I remember seeing Mocod there. Like, remember that? Yeah, that was like the last. Yeah,
MFA played with them.
Maybe I was at that show.
That's definitely the show. I mean, I know for me that like one of the things that I think about if I were to move back to New York City is like, the things that are so much more important to me now are like, I'm pretty locked in with like my routine, with my like diet thing, with like, how I like to kind of like fit physical activity into it and also still do all this stuff, that we do for gigs. Cause like, I wouldn't say I'm at 4 or 5 nights of gigging a week. I'd say I'm at more like 2 or 3 kind of by choice. Like I stopped kind of doing a lot of gigs that I just wasn't really that into.
Yeah.
Which like, again, I sort of, that was a tough transition because there's a lot of unknown.
I've honestly been thinking about that more. Like I do feel like I always want to be in a space where I can create enough and also just keep getting better.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I just play too many gigs, I feel like I get worse. Like,
because what opportunity cost?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting that you say that because it's not like the chops get worse, but
no,
like
not
my
at all,
musicianship gets worse. I'm just like, I remember like,
you don't feel inspired when you're playing.
You don't feel inspired. You do like 4 or 5 nights in a row, and by the end of it, you're like, I'm literally just playing as fast as I can and wondering why people aren't like lashing onto this.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm not giving them anything to hook into, but it kind of like, the music just kind of destroys your brain or something. I don't know.
No,
it's the work. It's the work of it, And like tour can be the same, but tour is different. And if you, end up with a touring band that like sort of allows for creativity, then I think it can be the best of both worlds, but then you feel like you're missing out on other stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's the grass is always greener.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
I definitely know for me, whatever I'm doing, I want it to be creative, and I always want to, I mean, the two things. I just want to.
I don't think that's ever going to stop.
Wanna,
for you.
And I just want to keep creating new music and getting better at guitar and, making music with people. And that's kind of like, those are the kind of the constants. And, I guess everything else kind of will take care of itself. Not that you don't have to have a plan. I mean, like right now I'm deliberately trying to make my solo career take off more. And I'm also, doing a lot more writing for television, film stuff, but it's like, but I do feel like, it's good to just have those kind of end game goals too.
Yeah. At a certain point, you kind of do. And like, I'm still a hippie in the sense of like, I kind of hate planning because the problem is when you do enough of the kind of stuff that we do, you kind of learn to go with the flow. You learn that nothing that you plan is gonna actually be like things change.
Yeah, I feel like
quickly.
so many things that I've like worked so hard for just have never happened.
Right.
And then things I've never even thought about that are opportunities that like other people would kill for have just happened.
So
and I'm like,
kind of
doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. No, that's just kind of life. The last year especially for me has been like kind of looking at the direction of where things are going and being like, I'm happy with where some things are, but also like there's other things that I just want to do. So like, how can I, even doing this was like, kind of like started as a pipe dream and me like showing up with my iPhone to people's apartments. And like now, we're doing it here and it's like, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I'm having a blast. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
This is great. Yeah.
I mean, I'm so glad to just get these nuggets of insight and this alternate life that I used to live. See, this is what I used to. How many nights a week? Before we go into our segment, how many? Do you remember?
I remember we used to count on our arms.
That's what I was gonna say.
And then we
used to
stop
drink
track.
counting.
Yeah. And then we just like. Then we just be like, fuck it.
Yeah, because once it would get up to like 17, it's just like there's not much more we can do about counting.
Yeah, it's like And then, but what's crazy is I feel like all throughout my 20s, I was like, I'd be fine the next day. Like it didn't like.
Yeah, you can kind of bounce back.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then,
again, I'm the wrong person to sort of talk to about it now, but like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I lost my ability to cope, man. I mean, at a certain point, it was always, I knew this about myself. Was like the way that my relationship with like anything that kind of takes me out of myself, like I know I value it more than the people that I'm with. Even the people that I'm partying heavily with. Like, I don't know, I can't speak to anybody and like, it doesn't affect me one way or another. I don't care.
Yeah.
I was like, for me, like, just like the emotional element of like being able to just like take drugs or like drink away my like feelings or like into a state of oblivion, like that was more important than the hang or than the gig or anything like that. And so like it completely created this imbalance where like that was the thing that I was really after. And like we don't need to get into the nitty gritty of it now, but like it got pretty dark.
I mean, these days I don't really, other than just smoking pot from time to time, I don't really like do a lot of drugs, but drinking is like, it's a social thing for me. But, of course, we've all had those moments, where like for me, where like, you're using it as like an escapist tool. And that's for me when I'm like, okay, I got to watch it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it got so out of balance for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like New York City didn't do that to me. LA didn't do that to me. Like I did that, I sort of, and I eventually had to learn like pretty much the hard way, like there's no safe way for me to like participate in these things.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I want to give up being a musician.
Yeah.
Like the lifestyle is still super fun. And if anything, I feel like I can have more fun now. I might bitch and moan a little bit more, but I also feel like that might just be part of getting older.
Also, it's just funny to do that. It's just, it's a good time, you know?
It's super fun.
Yeah.
You talk about it, the schwitz. We don't have schwitzes here. We have like Korean spas.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Which is also awesome.
Yeah. Actually, when I was in Helsinki, I've gone there a few times and like, they're like obsessed with like the schwitz, the sauna, it's like, but their thing, it's like, man, I was there this winter and you like, there's a place I went that I would go to that like you would jump in the Baltic Sea, like in the winter and then go back to the sauna. And like, I felt like my organs like were shutting down. I also have this like weird OCD thing where like I need to do everything in even numbers. Like if I touch something, so I had to do it
you
twice.
To go twice.
So I did it twice.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So like, I
right.
like yeah.
I wonder if we're gonna have to keep that in mind when we do our segment. Should we do our segment?
Yeah.
All right. So in honor of,
I always purposely fuck up the third take. Actually, please still hire me.
do you want us to cut that out? Maybe?
Maybe,
No, we're gonna clip that out. We're gonna clip that out as your promo clip.
But I'm actually serious.
In honor of your, well, should we take a break and then we'll set it up?
Yes.
All right. So let's take a break. All right. So we're back from our break.
Good.
And we're gonna try a brand new segment in honor of your visit from New York City,
Thank
the Big
you.
Apple.
I'm honored.
This segment is how you like them apples.
Oh my goodness.
We made a sign and everything.
Look at that.
So this is our segment.
Great.
How you like them apples.
I love it.
And we're gonna try some different apple
Ooh
stuff
la la.
and decide what we like best.
So what do
So-
we dive into first?
What we have here is just classic apple.
I think we should start with the
Okay.
classic
We've got
apple.
classic apple. Then we have a lemonade apple, which is like a variation, I guess, of an apple that I've never
wait,
seen
these have to
before.
have names. It needs to be like a Gala or like
I think this is
Granny
a
Smith
I think this is
or
a
like
sugar bee apple.
sugar bee apple.
It is a
Yeah,
sugar bee
it is,
apple.
right? Yeah, great,
What
great
kind
apple.
of crazy West Coast apples do you have here? What is a sugar? It's like
Try it, and then so we also have like apple chips, dried apples, apple sauce.
Let's see.
We have an apple turnover, apple juice,
He's gonna try
and
it.
we also have an old Apple iPod Nano. Okay, so we can try all that.
Are some people gonna like tune into the episode for like the ASMR like
I
aspect of me eating an apple? Like
I try to eat off mic so that
here's
I can.
for all you ASMR.
I guess people hate it. I mean, this is
Some
a classic,
people.
No, I'd say
classic apple.
I'd give this one.
You're gonna run it like a focus group.
Okay. Overall, I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. I'd give
solid.
the taste 6 out of 10, but the texture
Yeah.
like an 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good texture. I
Yeah.
agree.
Right? Yeah.
I've come to
What about
really
you?
love
You
the
guys,
sugar
yeah.
bee apple. I used to be
It's good.
strictly pink lady.
That's the thing. I love a little bit of tartness. Like that's why, I really like sort of like a wine sap apple. You know about
I've
wine
never
sap?
even heard
They're
of that.
great. These are New York apples, man. They're like
This
or like a Macoun apple is really good, or Gala apples.
I moved on to the lemonade apple because I've been so curious about it since I saw it in the store. I have to be honest, it doesn't taste like lemonade at all.
Yeah, not at all.
It doesn't really taste like an apple either, though. Okay, I'm giving the sugar bee. That was an 8 out of 10 apple. Great experience, great flavor, great texture. I love it. I can depend on it. I love them. The lemonade apple, I was expecting a lot.
Yeah.
With the name like a lemonade apple,
It should be more tart. It's
It
not that
should.
tart. It's not that sweet. There's nothing. There's
I don't know.
There's just nothing to get excited about.
just because of the disappointment of it, it's not like it was bad, but like
Yeah.
it gets a 4 because
Yeah.
I was led to believe something that
you know
it
what?
couldn't fulfill
if
that
I was
promise.
really looking forward to that apple, I probably would give it a 4 too. But I just like.
You didn't know.
Seeing that it looked like a Granny Smith apple, I assumed it probably wasn't going to be very good to begin with. Yeah, green apples are just not great. I mean, unless
yeah,
you're
I don't know who those are for.
unless it's like a Warhead flavor candy or something like that.
Yeah, I just tried this apple chip.
Let's try this.
That's good. It's a different one than I've had before.
That's a 9. That's a 9. That's outstanding. I love that.
you like the crispness?
The Christmas,
Is it sweet?
It's a little
it has
sweet.
a little bit of this. Yeah,
It's not overwhelmingly sweet.
but it's also like it has this kind of like oily.
I'm gonna
Like kind of
I'm gonna go 8.5.
I really like that a lot.
I'm going
Okay.
8.5. It's good. If it was a little crispier.
It's a little tart too.
Here, you guys want 'em?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna get this out of the way because
These are good, yeah.
I can't remember the last time I had applesauce
As a baby.
or enjoyed applesauce.
I'm not a huge.
No,
Unless,
I'm out.
unless applesauce is like on a latke with
That's the
some sour
worst.
cream.
Okay, Adrian.
Oh god. Spit that out too. Sorry, I'm a savage.
Oh wait, I forgot. We have a
that's like
we
the-
have a special rating metric.
Okay.
We rate
I was
things
confused.
1 out of 6.
Wait, why
for
not 1 out
guitar
of 10?
strings.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 6 is like a full guitar, and 1 is a shitty guitar with 1 string
okay.
on it.
So
Okay.
So in that case, let's
Yeah.
go back.
Sugar bee?
Sugar bee.
You know what? I after sitting with it for a while, I mean, I gave it a 7, which is a decent rating to begin with, but I feel like maybe that was a little bit low. Like, I'm going to give the Sugar Bee a 4.8 out of 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
it was good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
almost like a 5-string bass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What about the lemonade apple?
I give it a 3.
Okay. Yeah,
Dean?
that sounds about right.
Maybe 3.5.
I mean, the Sugar Bee for me is a 5. It's a solid 5 string. Lemonade apple, 3. The apple chip, that's also. I'm gonna give it a 4. Honestly, it was good, but I've had better versions of that product.
Okay.
The apple sauce, that there's no strings on that guitar. That is a sadly ignored. I'm just way out of that. Now this is an interesting one. The texture. These are dried apples,
Yeah.
which I never had before, but I picked them up at Sprouts.
Are they kind of gummy?
I can't figure out what's going on here.
It's interesting, though.
Try one.
I'm having a good time eating it.
I kind of like it too. It's sweet.
I'm giving it a 4.2.
4.2.
Yeah, like good.
I'll give it.
Enjoying it. Yeah.
I don't know if I can do the extra 0.2. I'd go 0.1, 4.1.
But what about the experiential factor?
I can definitely see that.
You know,
Yeah, it's a choice. Yeah.
The experience of eating that for you is worth
0.2.
0.1% more than it is for me.
If it were a tiny bit more tart, I feel like I would like it more.
Yeah, there's something like the
Yeah.
sum of its parts is almost there.
Yeah.
All right, well, so that's the. Oh, and then we have
Or
these
just
apple
say New York
turnovers.
is horrible.
Yeah, again from the Sprouts baked goods section. This is an apple.
I mean, I feel like how could this not be good? It's just like
No, this
flaky
is-
dough and like
I know.
sugared apple.
Oh,
Yeah, that's great.
except for the fact that some of it spilled on my face. I mean, that's 6 strings right there.
6 strings. 6 strings.
Compared to everything else that we've had.
Well, I feel like I've had some pretty outstanding apple turnovers, and like this is a very good one.
The texture it's not too mushy.
Yeah,
It's not too dry.
Especially like for
Yeah.
store brand.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, exactly. You know what? For store brand, I'd give it a 6. Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine having a better store brand apple turnover. If you're
Sprouts
comparing
kind of
to- yeah.
kills it.
Other than the applesauce and the the lemonade apple or whatever you call it, everything's been pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
I'm okay. And then apple juice. When was the last time you had apple juice? Cheers, my friend.
Probably like 2018.
I don't know when the last time I had it is.
Apple cider more recently, but
Well,
apple
so
juice,
this is
yeah, I know.
Martinelli's,
Yeah.
which my understanding from the apple juice
Top
connoisseurs, that's
Gold
the one.
standard, yeah. It's good. It's very good.
I kind of get it.
I do feel like it would have tasted sweeter if we didn't just have an apple turnover.
I think you're right about that. But there's no sugar in it.
It's very good.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the winner was the turnover for me.
I'm gonna go chips.
Wow.
I mean, the turnover was excellent though too. I mean, like, I don't think you'd go wrong saying either. But if push
Which one are
comes
you
to
going to
shove,
buy? Which one are you going to really eat?
I'd buy the chips because like I'm not gonna just go around buying apple turnovers.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing, right? I wouldn't this stuff is only for fun. Like, I
Except the
can't-
chips, they're like like that's
He
like,
loves the chips.
All right.
grab and go some fast.
Well, you can have the
energy.
rest of the bag as your consolation. There you go. I've never seen a man shoot chips before. Actually, that's definitely not true. And then the final Apple product is this iPod Nano. It holds, I think, closer to 300 songs.
That's right. I remember having.
Yeah,
one
and
of
it was
those back in the
shuffle
day. I'm
only.
like,
That's right. This is an
Yeah.
iPod Shuffle. I mean, feel it. Go back in time. That's
This is like-
6 strings. That's like the memory of that, holding it like,
What this is like 2010.
this is before like streaming was really a thing.
The first shuffle was like a stick. And
Like,
and then
just
they
to
changed it
have
that.
like your favorite jams like in your pocket. I don't know, that just the memory of that, honestly, it outweighs any of the treats that we just had here. That means so much to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
Aleksi,
dude.
thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me, dude.
Dude, it's my pleasure.
And
There's
you guys.
one more thing you got to do
What do
before
we
you
gotta
wrap
do?
it up.
What do we got to do?
You got to look in the camera and
Okay.
say, I put my pants on one leg at a time.
I put my pants on one leg at a time.
You heard it here first, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.